Oh, I can't hear.
Alexa, we can't hear you.
Mm-mm.
No,
Can you hear me, Chief?
I can hear you.
Okay. 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 All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Northwest District Town Hall, virtual town hall. Um, First, we're going to start off with Lauren Rodriguez with the Office of OPHS out of the Mayor's Office. Is Lauren on?
No.
Is
I don't,
the Chief
I don't
did?
think I see her. Uh,
I don't see her either.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think anybody sees her. So we just let's go ahead, Chief Taylor. So we'll move on and we'll introduce Chief Taylor, Police Chief of the City of Indianapolis. Will start us off.
Well, good evening. Thank you so much for attending our Northwest Town Hall. I promise you that you'll, by the time this is over, you'll be informed. And hopefully, if you have questions, we'll be able to answer that as well. Northwest is one of the finest districts, mainly because I live on it. No, it's a great district. All of them are great. But Commander Lewis will walk you through the different things that the Northwest District is doing and what they hope to accomplish. And then, of course, as we wrap up, we'll look to get questions from you. I believe we'll do like we have in the past. Those questions will come in through the chat. And if Alexa is not available, one of us will keep an eye on your questions and hopefully answer those. But thank you again for attending. It's important to us that you're involved with this district, whether you live on it or you have a business here or whatever. We do want to hear from you. Our goal, obviously, is uh, to inform you and to protect you and listen to what you have to say, to any suggestions um, that you may have for a smoother running district. So, with that, Commander Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I'm Commander Lorenzo Lewis. I'm the Northwest District Commander, and it's always a pleasure for me to engage the community. And also, I think communication is important. It's important for us to show you what we've done and also show you what we plan to do. We'll start out. If we'll get going here. What I do? Okay, here we go. So if you notice, Northwest District has increased in size since 2020. So we're currently at 75, approximately 75 square miles. Taking on a little more responsibility there. We pretty much aligned the district for beat policing, the beat policing concept. And with that, we have 19 beats. So we grew to 19 beats in July of 2020. And if you can see the boundaries, northern boundaries, 96th Street. Hendricks County is just north of that. Southern boundary, then we go down uh, to West 10th Street, and we skip around the Hallville area, and we go back down to, we have some of the Hallville area, but we skip some around some of the southern Hallville, and we stop at 16th, and we go back down to 10th. And our western boundary will be Raceway, which is uh, uh, Raceway Road is our southern boundary. And eastern boundary, we go down from Ditch Road, Grandview, and I-465. As just a snapshot of our staffing since 2016, if you can see that we've been able to grow our staffing. We have some losses, kind of ebbs and flows from year to year. However, very pleased that with the increase in size of the district that we've been able to grow our staffing. And currently we had 179. We just sent another recruit class into the field training program, about 20 officers. They'll be joining us shortly, and we're looking forward to adding to these numbers. So year for 2022, so these are approximate. This is taken from my CAD history for the Northwest District, 128,658 CAD runs for the Northwest District that our officers handle in some way or form. Um, that's a big load, but our officers are always up to the task. The district detectives reviewed about 7,470 reports that you all make on crimes that require some type of investigation. Of those, they actually assigned about 47% of those, so 3,500 cases actually assigned to a district detective. And just being transparent, not all those cases probably require a whole lot of legwork, but I'd say at least half of those do. With 8 district detectives, they do a real good job. So the Enhanced Community Policing Initiative, we started in 2020. So basically with this concept, we have a laser focused approach to violent individuals and violent areas with the propensity to be violent, and individuals have propensity to be violent. So it's a laser focused approach. So we're not just taking a big brush across a whole community, because we all know that most people in the community are law-abiding citizens, and we're there to police for them, not to police them. However, we are there to address the violent individuals and those locations that contribute to the violence. So some of the points that we use: hotspot policing, directed patrols, problem-oriented policing. I like that. That's a useful way of thinking for officers. We want officers to be problem solvers and not just run takers and report takers. And our officers are very receptive of that and do a real good job of problem solving. We have a very intelligent bunch at 179. We use our violence reduction teams and our violent crime task force teams. These are individuals they're dedicated to um, addressing the violent individuals in the violent locations. They use a number of tools, technology, and investigative skills to address those violent individuals and violent spots. So here's some numbers, a snapshot of progress that they've been able to make for 2022. 367 total arrests, which is very impressive. Serious violent offenders arrests, 19 of those. These are the worst of the worst individuals, serious violent offenders. And if you look at guns, just this one group seized 167 guns, 14 vehicles. If you look at the amount of marijuana is back being the top drug of choice. 209,000 plus grams of marijuana seized off the streets. And of course, you can see meth seized 584 grams, and money. So we think it's important to hit them in the pockets. $262,000 and $278,000 seized off the streets impact the drug trade. Federal referrals about 14. Home compliance visits, that's a useful tool when individuals are on parole or probation if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Um, After giving chances to clean their life up and go in the right direction, if they're determined not to take advantage of the resources, then we're more than happy to assist parole and probation in making those visits and holding those individuals who don't want to play by the rules accountable. Of course, those who want to, we're more than happy to ensure they have the resources to be successful. Hotspot, this is a heat map. So this gives us an idea of where the disorder is. Of course, disorder or incidents that could lead to violence. And it helps us deploy our resources, whether it's our beat officers, our technology like our cameras. So we use this tool for that purpose, and on a daily basis we look at our heat maps for areas that we need to focus, and we like for those red dots to disappear, and that's our goal. So if you look at homicides, currently for the Northwest District, we're at 3. So we're like 50% down compared to this time last year, which is awesome. The non-fatal shootings are up a bit, but our aggravated assaults, which is with the non-fatal shootings incorporating that, are significantly down. I think it's somewhere around, I think the last time I checked, it was somewhere around 20% reduction in aggravated assaults. Shots fired, 362 uh, on the district. I keep track of that number because typically it's a quality of life issue for neighbors, for people in the community. And it also gives us an idea of where we may forecast potential violence for us, areas that we need to address, like that probably if you overlaid your shots fired in that heat map, you'd find it probably line up. And for 2022, you can see Northwest District at 37, which was down from the year prior. Non-fatal shootings were down from the year prior, 87 of 2021. Shots fired 1,976. That was actually a reduction in the prior year. Um, I think, and I attribute those downward trends to the fact that people in the community do call the police and they do cooperate. And when we get those calls, those helpful calls with helpful information, officers are able to arrive and make some arrests. And I always tell my officers that you don't have to catch them all, just catch some, and it does impact. It does make a huge difference.
Hey, Commander, real fast.
Okay.
Just want to remind everyone that they could put questions and comments in the chat as you present. Just wanted to let them know. You can go ahead.
Sounds good. Thank you. And you can see the overall crime statistics since 2018. There was an uptick in 2021, but you can see the steady decline in overall crime on the district. I attribute that to the great relationships that we have on the Northwest District with our community groups, and also our businesses are very helpful on the Northwest District. So I think that's actually the epitome of community policing, is when community, police, schools, and businesses work together for the greater good of the community. And I attribute that not just to the arrest, but also to the quality of work that's been done by everyone. So if you can see in 2021, that was a kind of an uptick. But if you can see, robberies were down 11%, homicides and robberies were down 11%, 16% respectively. Overall violence and property crimes were up just 5%. So all that impacts that number. I think even given that, there's some positives in there. So technology, again, I alluded to technology. We don't have the numbers of police officers that we would like to have. However, I think with the officers we have, we're very We use them as efficient as possible. Technology is useful in helping us to solve crimes, identify suspects, and to also um, help us locate the laser in on the exact spot where a crime is occurring. So here you see examples of the a spot shotter and also the crime cameras that we use to locate and analyze shots that are being fired. Again, so there is so the community is able to participate in a program called the B-Link camera system, and it helps. So if you can have it for your residents, and also businesses can participate in this. So basically, it's a useful tool for us to help identify suspects, suspect vehicles, suspect individuals, uh, gather information that we would not normally have, so that we can solve cases a lot better and use our resources a lot more efficient. The we don't monitor these cameras. However, it's what we're able to do is we'll know where the cameras are, and we have a room here at the Northwest District where we can actually pull up a map and see where these cameras are located, and a detective can actually go to your residence and ask you for permission to access this information that's on your camera, and we're able to use it to help solve our crimes. And you can see there's a grant out there right now. And the next slide, I will tell you a little more about that. But small businesses are encouraged to apply for a one-time grant of up to $2,500 to install and manage business cameras. So the Hope Team, which is a community group throughout the city, um, they're working to get more small businesses or to encourage more people to participate in this program. You don't have to go through that group. However, they've been very helpful in stepping up and helping to encourage. Actually, the best word of mouth comes from people in the community. And police department, we push this out, we advertise it, but I think word of mouth from individuals who are trusted in the community is very encouraging, for individuals to participate. And the more I really love these cameras. That they've been very helpful to our detectives in working their cases. So if you there will be an event here at the Northwest District on March the 15th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're interested in more information about this B-Link system, that is a great time to stop by and get the information. So we deal with mental health quite often on the district. I would say at least once a day, or a few times a day, that our officers encounter someone in a mental health crisis. And this MCAT Mobile Crisis Assistance Team, we have actually two on the Northwest District, where an officer is teamed up with a Eskenazi crisis specialist. They are specially trained in de-escalation techniques, and working together as a team, I think enables them to be more proactive and respond uh, to someone within a mental health crisis. It frees up the beat officer to take radio runs and address other matters of serious in nature. Again, I really appreciate having this MCAT team, because as officers, we never want to treat a mental health crises as a crime. So we don't want to criminalize mental health. And this is just another tool to help us deal with someone in that situation in a more efficient way, and also provide them with the resources that they need. So here's some data. They've taken 1,298 runs in 2022, 734 immediate detentions, and you can see the IDs and the mental rates. The Assessment Intervention Center, the AIC, they actually transported 10. I know officers have transported several as well. And the AIC is a great resource. It's out on the southeast side of town. It's near the Criminal Justice Center. It's just right outside of that. And they're able to provide someone in need with resources and also provide information for housing and things that they need for their quality of life. Here's a good highlight of investigative work that officers will do, conduct. I know there are a lot of complaints about, cars speeding and racing and doing donuts in the street. This is an example of the problem-solving efforts that officers conduct. And you can see they confiscate a gun and a car, uh, you know, uh, 15 traffic stops, pursuits, and some arrests, and even one individual with charges pending for robbery and kidnapping, and also on GPS while they were doing these activities. Here's another good example of serious violent felony arrest from a traffic stop. So our officers are out there making traffic stops. These are just some examples of 16,000 cash, 11 guns were confiscated. See the big drum that probably holds 100 or so rounds of ammunition. This is what we're dealing with out in the street. But this is the great work officers are doing to ensure the community is safe. This is an example of the some of the home visits that our officers do when someone isn't taking advantage of the resources that probation and parole has. Uh, if they're not following the rules and not taking advantage of the resources, then we make those visits, and we'll confiscate their guns and their cash, and we'll just send them back to jail. 783 guns seized off the street by the Northwest District. Um, we always want to get the guns out of the wrong hands. So it's not the gun, it's the person carrying the gun. And if they're making bad decisions, then we want to get those guns out of their hands. So this slide here, I want you to pay particular attention to the Glock handgun that's been modified to become a machine gun. So there are people in essence out there carrying machine guns that looks like a handgun, but it is a machine gun. So you can see the modified in this bottom right corner. See the modification at the back of that gun. It kind of sticks out a little bit, but that is what's called a switch that allows that gun to become a machine gun. And you see the big drum of ammunition right next to it. And all that was taken off of a traffic stop as well. We do extra patrols. 2022, we had about 5,891 foot patrols. So, to be transparent, that could be 3 officers walking together and each of them marking out. That's still an impressive amount of foot patrols that they do. And you can see the officers at the park. I think that's off of Tibbs Park, where they were doing foot patrols and just uh, engaging youth in the community. PWPs, that's patrol when possible. We get calls for that quite often from people in the community, and sometimes we do it. We set those ourselves. If there's an area that needs extra attention, we can get a call from someone in the community asking for it, or we see it from our daily crime stats that an area needs particular attention, then we'll put what's called a PWP on that location. It just alerts that beat officer to pay just a little more attention in that area, spend a little more time in that spot. So we don't. I think it's important that if we're going to police the community, that we should be part of the community and have positive contacts in the community. So our community engagement, community relations office is very helpful in that way, creating opportunities for police officers to have positive contacts in the community and positive engagements with youth and individuals in the community. As you can see, with the reading programs that we participate in, community days that we participate in, and down here in the bottom left, it's called Donut with a Cop. I wondered, hey, why do we do Donut with a Cop? But the kids love it. All you do is if you walk into a school with us one day and and we're doing donut with the cop. The kids love it. So, but what it does is it does kind of it helps lower those barriers of distrust and help build build trust with officers, and it shows the humanity of us, makes us look more human. And this is just a list of activities that our community engagement uh, community relations unit participates in year round. They go to community meetings, they handle community complaints, they help with apartments, the complexes, some of the complaints they have, participate in school events, and we have a quarterly, that says a month, we have a quarterly task force meeting. And we also, our annual car show that we put on, uh, been very, another opportunity to engage. Community Day is huge. That's where we feel like we give back to the community, and gives people in the community an opportunity to interact with us and just have fun, and we give away bicycles. I think we gave away 17 bicycles last year. So we'll probably give away a few more this year, put a lot of good smiles on faces of youth. Again, more positive contacts. And they also, they do a lot of red tagging of vehicles that are improperly parked, addressing quality of life issues in the communities. Follow us on our social media pages as well if you want to know what we're doing. We're on all social media platforms. And this we also do active shooter presentations. So communities and businesses that are interested in that program, our community relations unit will come out and do the active shooter presentation. And our crime prevention through environmental design. Um, uh, we send them quite out to locations that maybe experience some burglaries or robberies, and the officers are able to give people suggestions on how to be an undesirable target, like cutting your weeds back, more lighting, recommendations like that. Bike rodeos are very popular. And our annual holiday giveaway, we give away food and toys. We have a food pantry actually right here in our front entrance of the building, that our community people actually help us put together and supply it. So great relationships with our community. And, again, like I said, we're always working to increase our numbers. And I've done this for 38 years, and it's been very rewarding for me. And I think it would be rewarding, just as rewarding for anyone interested in this profession. As you can see, the pay is significantly increased to $61,829. A new signing bonus, which is $10,000. That's really impressive. And young man or woman could make $75,000 after 24 months, and not to mention all the other incentive pays that go along with that. Overtime pay, health insurance, a pension. A pension is kind of a thing of the past in most careers, but you get a pension for the rest of your life um, after you're vested. College incentive pay, and many specialty units like K9, narcotics, homicide, aviation. Like I told you, we have detectives. I have violence reduction teams. So a lot of opportunity in an agency this size for you to move around and get a lot of good experience, and to use your skills and talents to help make the community better. So we're in a new location. This is where we are now, 4005 Office Plaza Boulevard. Probably in a few weeks, we'd have been here a whole year. So we're very happy. It's a good workspace for our officers. I really think it helps with morale when you have a nice, clean, and professional workspace. And we're very happy with this. Actually, believe it or actually, this is another example of positive community relations. A longtime investor within the Northwest community actually stepped up and built this for us from ground up, purpose built for law enforcement. That we very, very happy, blessed to have. And this is the Google map, kind of gives you an idea where we're located. There's street signage out on Lafayette Road pointing right to where we are. Street signage on West 38th Street that will point you in the right direction. And there's like one, two, three, four ways to get to us off of between 38th Street and Lafayette Road. So goals and objectives 2023, again, reduce violent crime, using problem solving techniques to reduce crime, and increase our harm spot policing. I think our harm spot policing has been it's kind of a low key way of reducing crime. But basically, it's not really that low key. Just asking our officers to sit and just be visible in areas where we have problems, and just let people see your car. Sometimes that's a huge deterrent, and we actually have seen a difference. And people in the community really appreciate seeing that police car. Also, just sitting there doing a police report or making a phone call they need to make. However, it is a deterrent, and really like that. Using our strategic intelligence officer to track violent crime, and so that officers every day when they hit the street, they know where the problems are, they know what they need to address, and more efficient use of their time having that information. Intelligent technology that we're using in policing, I say it's the best I've ever seen it, with the crime cameras that are around the city, where we're able to monitor criminal activity and gather information on criminal activity. Again, we use that information on a daily basis to share. We share it among districts and with the beat officers. Career development and advancement. Again, a well-trained officer is going to serve the community better, and also it gives the officer an opportunity to self-actualize, become a better officer, feel better about themselves. You don't do this job unless you want to make a difference, and we really believe officers do. They have opportunities to become master detectives, master patrolmen. The IMPD Leadership Academy, which is well renowned throughout the country. Other departments attend our IMPD Leadership Academy as well, because it is such an impactful training. It helps develop leaders in the organization. Again, that training helps us build our future leaders for the city. Staffing and planning. Again, retention and hiring is very important to us, and also providing opportunities for individuals to get promoted, and to also take on special assignments to help build their professional development. And these are our contacts right now. We're doing interviews to fill our Crime Watch specialist spot. So if anyone interested, go to the IndyGov website and apply. But 327-6600. If you need to contact, that's the main line, front desk, and that's my desk number, 317-327-6996. And Captain Leary is the assistant commander. Lieutenant Gable is the impact commander. He's actually over the violence reduction team, so he's a good resource as well. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Questions?
All right, thank you, sir. Hopefully my audio at this point should be working.
I
Sorry.
can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right, so our first question came from Susan. Her question is, I think you had mentioned this earlier in the presentation, that hotspot map. Is there anywhere that people can find that, or is there a way to get Susan's information to send that along to her?
Yeah, yes, our community relations unit, if they shoot an email to one of our community relations units, we can send that copy of that. And also, if you go on the IndyGov site, there is a crime view map. I think that's on that website that you can also get pretty much the same information.
Okay, so Susan, you want to put your email address or in the chat, we can send that to you. Next question comes from Joanna. I think she's asking about the B-Link grant. This was the announcement that we made along with Indy Public Safety Foundation and the city and the mayor's office. So from my understanding, small businesses in the downtown area and throughout the city, not just downtown, have until 3/17 to apply for that grant. Chief Adams, is there anything you want to add on B-Link or the benefit of it?
No, Alexa, I think you addressed it. There's about 160 applications in there now, so it's going to be very competitive. We encourage all businesses, whether downtown or otherwise in the community, to apply. We really want to build out our infrastructure within the neighborhoods and major thoroughfares. So this is a great opportunity to get involved through the grant program. You know, oftentimes when Chief Taylor or any of the chiefs go to a community group, they say, "How can we help?" Well, here's an opportunity to help. Here's an opportunity to get involved. And so we just encourage you to take a look. I put the link in the chat. Take a look at that link and please apply.
Now, Chief, while I have you, not just for businesses, say somebody has a video surveillance camera on their door, their personal home, can they also help us out?
Yeah, they can register their camera. And so what that does is let our investigators know that a camera is in this area and we can come knock on your door and say, "Hey, we understand you've registered your camera with B-Link. We'd like to request that from you." And so that's how the home program works, is that you register and then it puts a dot on the map. Whereas the business side of it, you actually sign up and then you give us access to it. We don't have to come knock on your door for businesses. So that's kind of how the two programs work.
Thank you, Chief. This one also might be for you or Chief Taylor. Diana's asking about those modified guns that Commander had mentioned that they had confiscated in different vehicles and around the district. She's asking if there are any extra charges for them. Can one of you speak to that?
Well, I think currently the state legislator is working on a bill to enhance that charge machine gun. But it is illegal to carry.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next one from Susan again. She's asking, this one for you, Commander. She's asking, what's the best way of getting in contact with the district if she's interested in getting extra patrols?
Okay, she can just call the 317-327-6600 and we'll get that to the beat officers.
Awesome. Next one.
You can also sign up online as well. There's a link online on the IndyGov site.
Perfect. Next one's from Joanna. I think she's just putting this here to show that when residents speak up, especially Northwest District, they can reduce crime in the area and also reduce speed racing. Commander, I know that was something that you had mentioned. If a resident is seeing that outside their business, outside their home, what can they do to make a difference?
So a good example of that, we just got about a month ago, we got a call from residents that live in the Eagle Creek area, 56th Street, and they asked us to do something about the speeding on 56th Street across the causeway. And so the last 30 days, we've been giving that some attention, and the traffic unit's been very helpful in going up there as well and making stops. And the data I got as of March the 4th, 158 vehicles were stopped in that area. So I thought that was very impactful for officers to do that. And so we concentrated on that for about 30 days. and made that many stops, and tickets were written as well. So we'll keep an eye on that, but always report those to us. We do take it serious.
And this is an issue that, we have on every single district. Chief, can you talk about what our traffic unit is doing to address reckless driving throughout the city of Indianapolis?
Sure. This is one of those complaints that we get from a number of residents, like you said, all across Indianapolis and Marion County, and we also hear a lot from your city county councilors on that. So the traffic unit is the one that's best equipped to check that. They just had a deal the other day. Sometimes it's on the highway, sometimes it's on the different streets. It just depends on where those complaints come in. But they kind of use a tag team type thing. One unit may have a radar gun and check your speed, and it won't get out into traffic. They'll radio ahead to a car, one of our squad cars that's up ahead, and they'll go ahead and pull you over and write you. So they're very busy with that because we know that the reckless driving, the speeding also leads to accidents. It's no secret. There have been a number of pedestrians that have been struck, um, uh, by vehicles. So we're concerned about that, and we keep an eye out on that. I imagine we'll get some statistical data in the not too distant future that we can, of course, share. But as Commander Lewis said, the best thing is to let us know what time you see it. Vehicle descriptions. It's funny that a lot of times it's the same cars that are doing that. So you let us know about it, and we'll deal with it. So thank you.
Another thing that we also say is that, the residents that live in these neighborhoods, they know their neighborhoods the best, right? So like you said, they know which cars are driving fast. They know what time of day it's happening. So they need to let us know so that we can come in with that enforcement. Going back to B-Link right now, Chief Adams, um, Joanna's asking how those businesses are going to be chosen. I believe she's asking about that B-Link grant. Can you give any clarification on that? I know the application's still open, right? We still have until the 17th. But how are those businesses going to be chosen? Do we know?
Yeah, so they'll be weighted. Obviously, we're looking at location, crime, population, major thoroughfares, and they'll be weighted by a committee to include community members, the Indy Public Safety Foundation, police representatives, and city county councilors. So once all those applications are in, we'll sit down. Obviously, priority is going to be given to areas that are high in crime. But then other factors, like I said, major thoroughfares, population, are they already in the program versus a new business that's not in the program? So there's a number of factors that we'll look at in weighting those, and then those that weight to the top, obviously, they'll be granted either the full amount, or they could be granted a partial amount. What we've discussed is we want to try to get as many businesses in as possible, so there won't be just carte blanche awards. And what I mean by that is not everybody who's applied is going to get a full award. There'll be some businesses that get more, some that get less, so that we can get more people into the program.
Thank you, sir. Staying on B-Link right now, Joanna's asking, and I think she's a little confused. Well, you could use B-Link from a personal camera, a Ring camera. She's saying if that shows speeders, can they be arrested due to that footage? So drivers generally come out, they speed, and then of course they don't do it long enough to get caught. We hear that time and time again, right? Is there anything that they can do, or any video? Commander, perhaps you can shed some light on
No,
that.
we can't arrest just based off the video. However, it is very useful information, something that our officers can, uh, something to look out for, or a vehicle to look out for. If it's a yellow Camaro that's always speeding up Michigan Road, then that beat officer, that's good information for that beat officer. Look for that yellow Camaro. Uh, that's speeding up and down. And date and time is good information because some people are just creatures of habit. Maybe that person gets off at 5 o'clock every day and they're on their way home or whatever their routine is for that. So it's good information to have. I already know it's not, you just can't, and I wish I could.
It's not that easy.
Let me add a little something in that. So depending on what that camera is showing, speeding probably no. Reckless driving possibly identify that vehicle and the driver. Obviously, a plate is very helpful for us. If we can get a plate, then if that vehicle is registered correctly, then we'll be able to track that back to at least the owner of that vehicle. And if nothing else, we can certainly give warnings, even if we have to go by their house, maybe to just tell them to knock it off. Maybe that helps out. But if that video would show reckless driving, then there may be a little bit more we can do to it, but we still have to be able to identify that vehicle and that driver.
Yeah, I think Nikki Moore pointed out how useful they are for people who steal stuff off porches, and our detective been very successful at making arrests based off those cameras that capture that evidence.
Donna is asking, back to those B-Link grants, do we have any idea if there's going to be a second round of funding available? I don't know if that's been, I don't know if we've gotten there. Chief Adams, do you know that?
No, we haven't even got through the first round yet. So we want to get through this first round that is more community focused versus the technical first round, which was just downtown. So proud or happy that we were able to carve out enough money that we could reach into the communities, because there's a need there. There's also a need downtown, but there certainly is a need within neighborhoods, small corner stores that weren't included in that first round. So no, we have not discussed this. These are ARPA dollars that are being used to support this initiative, and so I'm not aware of a second round at this point.
Thank you, sir. I believe at this point, that gets all of the questions, that gets us through all the questions that were in the chat. Joanna's now asking if she can get printed material to go door to door with.
Yeah, just stop by, Joanna. We'll give it to you.
There
Stop
you
by
go.
and see me. Stop by and see me.
Commander, while I have you here, can you talk a little bit about the importance of, I know you touched on it during the presentation, but the importance of technology and the impact that it's had on officers and on your investigations?
Yeah, absolutely. So the technology allows us to be more efficient and more efficient use of our time as well. And we're able to conduct our investigations a lot faster because of the amount of information we're able to get in a short span of time based off the technology, the videos, specifically the cameras. We have cameras located strategically located in areas where we have problems, and quite often from time to time we'll have someone monitor those cameras, and they're able to dispatch an officer right then at that time to make an arrest, and we've been successful with that. I can think of some locations right off the top of my head where that has recently happened. So yeah, the technology is just very critical in a time where, again, like I said, we don't have the numbers of officers that we would like to have for a city this size, and I don't think we'll ever really get there necessarily. I know a lot of work is being done to make that possible, but the profession has changed, and but the technology is even more critical for us to have. And our officers are able to sit in their cars and watch cameras. That's how advanced we are with that technology.
Thank you, sir. Nikki's now asking, she said you spoke a little bit about the numbers for MCAT last year. She says, do you have any of the numbers so far for this year? Mental health is still a hot topic, and Can you speak to the average of that in Northwest so far this year? I also want to point out we do have our partners from OPHS joining us tonight, and they have a number of resources and programs as well. But Commander, can you talk a little bit about MCAT here at Northwest and what we've been seeing so far this year?
Yes, it's been very helpful this year. We get a lot of repeat customers with the MCAT, and it's not unusual for me to see a report and go to my MCAT team and ask them to check them out, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, we know that person. We've already, we know who they are." And another interesting thing is that we have two teams, and one team may have a better relationship with that person, and so that's what they'll do. They'll have the team that has the better relationship go visit that individual and provide them and get them back on track. Basically, that's all they need to get back to their therapy and get their medicines and things like that. And they're very resourceful in that regard. Again, freeing up the officer so that they can go back, in service and take some of the other runs. Although our officers are very well trained in crisis intervention, as well in de-escalation techniques, and many of our officers have access and also know about some of the same resources that our MCAT team does. The MCAT team just a little better prepared to take those runs, and the yeah. hmm And in fact, they're proactive and they're listening to the radio, real time, and able to respond.
Thank you, sir. I also think it's important to note that all of our officers go through mental health training. I know we have Chief Cummings with us as well. I don't know if she can speak to some of the training, or if Chief can speak to it, some of the training that our officers go through, because we know mental health is such a significant issue, not just here in Indianapolis, but of course around the country.
Chief, would you like me to address that? I know she mentioned either one of us.
Yeah, please.
All right. Well, and actually, I believe the chief is attending this training tomorrow, but we are now putting the entire department through ICAT, which is a program called Integrated Communication and Tactics. And it's a program that is spreading across the country, but it helps our officers learn and understand, and just equips them with more tools to learn to de-escalate situations, which, as I will also point out, is a part of our policies, and we require officers to de-escalate all situations. But I think most importantly, it's just the best way to remind people that de-escalation is it's not a magic tool. It's not a magic wand. It's really just communication. And so what we really want our officers to do is just take a step back and talk to people and meet people where they are. And I just think that anytime that we can give officers practice at bringing them out from behind their electronic devices and having them talk to people, that is great experience for all of us.
Yeah, and additionally, Lauren Rodriguez, deputy mayor of OPHS, and her folks are really trying to get a civilian-led mental health group together. I believe they're in a good position to get that going at some point this year. So what'll happen with that is civilian technicians, MCAT is a police officer and a technician. This other group, there'll be no police involved in it unless we're requested. But point being, a lot of cities are trying to look into this type of solution to the mental health issues that exist, and Indianapolis is no stranger to them. But the hope is that the clinicians will be able to get out there, as long as the call doesn't involve a weapon or some potential violence, be able to get in there and make those contacts. And of course, mental health is not a one and done, right? It's something that needs to be worked on over a period of time, and each case is is evaluated on its own merits. But we're looking forward to that as well. So we know that our officers get trained, and I think they, for the most part, they do a good job. MCAT is better. The clinician-led teams would be a nice come along to what already exists, and with those three different units working, hopefully we'll get on top of some of that and help some people out.
Final question coming from Joanna. She's asking if the city has come up with any resources that they have ready for Northwest District that could house either MCAT clients and get them to a healthier place. What, if anything, should residents ask city county councilors and the government to be supportive? Is it tools? Is it funding? Is it location? What would that look like? She's asking about.
Well, I would say, from a police standpoint, we wouldn't house anybody like that. That's not in our lane. That would be up now if the city county councilors want to come up with something. Probably be helpful. I think most of you all remember when you had Central State. I certainly remember that when I first got here in '93, and when it shut down, things seemed to take a number of steps backwards. I don't know if we ever get to a Central State type of facility again. It would probably be helpful, but I don't believe that should be under police purview. That probably is going to have to come from a different arena.
And our officers can certainly help someone get access to the assessment intervention center. We get them there, and they're able to help them get those type of resources.
Yeah, and I don't know if OPHS is on here, but there are 30 beds there now, and I think there are discussions to try to expand that at the Assessment and Intervention Center. It's a brand new facility run by Eskenazi they also have the LIFT program that will take those to the center free. So Alexa, I can't see, but is OPHS on here? I don't. They obviously could talk more about it, but I do know those things are going on now.
Yeah, Brittany just wrote
she's-
in that
Okay.
the AIC is ramping up staffing to expand to 60 beds over the next few months. I know she's on gear. She and Tony have been working hand in hand to get those programs up and running. So, all right. Well, I think we are running low on time. Commander, any last words as you look ahead to a new year? Anything residents should know about? Any final words?
Yeah, just follow us on our social media platforms. We have a lot of great events coming up. Our task force will be quarterly this year. We'll continue our Coffee with a Cop, which is an informal setting. Everybody seems to love those. I get a lot of questions. When's the next Coffee with a Cop? I think the next one's coming up here March the 23rd. It'll be at the Georgetown Natural Food Market. Again, another opportunity to come and engage with us. And somebody made a good point last night. That's a good time if you got an issue that you can come to us with it, and we're drinking coffee, so nobody really knows you're telling on somebody. so, uh, so that's a good time to do that as well, and just get to know us. Again, just looking forward to building relationships in the community. I think building those relationships and lines of communication helps to keep those numbers down, keep violence down, improve the quality of life in your communities. And I think we all want a safe community to live in and work in. So that's our goal here in the Northwest District. We're here for you, and we want to work with you.
Chief, you want to close this out?
Sure. Brittany just put a thing in the chat. If you'll look at that, she basically is saying that AIC is not a shelter per se. That is indeed correct, but rather a way to link those in need to their next step in recovery. and then she gives her email, and then also you can look at www.indy.gov if you have other questions or concerns there. I just want to say thank you again. This was a nice, robust conversation with questions, much appreciated. I'll leave you with this. We are honestly, we're about 250 officers down. And I know the quality of people in Northwest. So if you are under the age of 40, or you have kids or maybe even grandkids that are 21 and older, no felony convictions, valid driver's license, high school diploma, U.S. citizen, those things get you started. Have them look at the Join IMPD website. Gives you all the parameters of what's needed. It's a great program. We get you ready for the physical fitness part of it through Police Academy Readiness, which is called PAR, which is on, I think, on Tuesday nights. But please, if you can help us out there, that would be great. We need as many as we can get. We've had a lot of people that have retired there, and they're deserving of their retirement. But we need to bolster those ranks. So if you know someone of good character, please guide them our way. But other than that, thank you so much.
Thank you all. Again, this will be recorded. We'll be posting this on YouTube for those who couldn't join us here tonight. Our next town hall, that's going to be Southwest, March 21st at 6 p.m. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Take care.
Thank you.